Larynx feeds into the trachea or windpipe. In an adult, the length of the trachea is approximately 4 inches. It connects the larynx superiorly to the primary bronchi inferiorly. The mucosa consists of ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Goblet cells within the mucosa secrete mucus, which helps trap any incoming particles in the air that you breathe. This helps filter and purify the air. Cilia moves the mucus containing these particles up toward the throat so that you can swallow them. This is called the mucociliary escalator. The trachea is prevented from collapsing by hyaline cartilage rings that are shaped like Cs. They are found on the anterior and lateral sides of the trachea, and there are approximately 16 to 20 of these. On the posterior side, you have the trachealis muscle and an elastic connective tissue. These make up the tracheal membrane. Sensory receptors located within the trachea, as well as taste buds in most of the mucosa within the larynx, initiate a cough reflex if food or liquid goes into the trachea. The last cartilage of the trachea is called the carina, and I've highlighted it here in yellow. In this illustration, you can see a cross-section of the trachea. The blue represents the hyaline cartilage. Notice how it only is found laterally and anteriorly. This here is going to be the mucosa, the pseudostratified columnar. It's just that dark line there. Deep to that, as we're moving away from the lumen, so the lumen is always the hollow portion of a tube, you're going to have the submucosa. And in that submucosa, you're going to have some mucus-secreting glands called seromucous glands. So they're going to be located in here, the seromucous glands. Moving deeper, you're going to have the hyaline cartilage. And then the outer layer, which surrounds the hyaline cartilage, is the adventitia, which is connective tissue. In this area here, you have the trachealis muscle along with the elastic connective tissue, which is going to make up the tracheal membrane. This is the esophagus here. You'll be looking at a histology slide, and we'll need to be able to identify the different layers of the tracheal wall. This is the lumen here. The mucosa is going to consist of the pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and remember it's ciliated, which is this darker area, and a lamina propria, which is just loose connective tissue deep to or right below the epithelium. So the mucosa consists of the epithelium and the lamina propria. Deep to that, as we're moving outward, is the submucosa with these seromucous glands that we talked about here that produce mucus. And then you have the hyaline cartilage, so that's your cartilaginous layer. And then the adventitia is the outer layer, which is the connective tissue. In this slide, you can actually see the pseudostratified columnar epithelium with goblet cells. These are goblet cells here. And this is the cilia. This would be the lamina propria. You can tell it is loose connective tissue.